How you doing, everyone? We're finally here for our trades for the week and also my preview of how I think the game's going to go and maybe a few little bets for you to round out your weekend there. So we're going to start with the people squad. We made 2 trades this week. We decided that we're going to bite the bullet, we had 8, so plenty of trades there available. Cleary's not back this week, so we decided to grab the next best thing, and that was DCE. And you can see him there with his 119 from last week was incredible. We're not expecting him to average that, but I'm expecting 65 to 70 for an average for the rest of the year, and him being the clear best option at the moment in the halves with Jerome Hughes. I thought it was a no-brainer picking him up this week, and we've decided to move on to Sean Johnson, and we actually decided to go with Nico Hines as well. So with him being a good chance of losing his fullback spot over the next few weeks, the people have spoken, and they've decided to pick up Adam Doueihi this week, and this puts us to about 15k in the bank, 14k left over. The team's looking really strong, heading into this week there, with very much being able to sit Walsh there in emergency 5, and the only real other weak point I'd say would be Averillo at this stage, but there's every chance that he can average sort of around 40 for the rest of the season. So really happy with the start. Maybe Schuster could be one that could go eventually. We have Moses there waiting in the wing, so we're going to be using him as one of our interchange players or our halves there, and we do have space for one more cash out. So we have 18 really strong players at the moment, 19 even, you could say, with Taff and Verrills there. So if we can pick up at least one more cash out there, we'd be able to get another really strong play in the centres or get closer to a Cleary if we'd like to there, or maybe bring in a Ponga or something if they happen to go really well over the next bunch of weeks. But yeah, really happy with that. At the moment, we're going with Fafita as captain. They do play the Dogs, so I feel like that's a pretty safe option. I also think Payne Haas is a great option going forward as well, especially if he's going to be getting closer to 80 minutes over the next few weeks, and he is a really great captaincy option. So either way is fine. Let me know in the comments who you think we should captain, because that wasn't very clear with what the people have said so far. But yeah, really strong side. Happy to play gamble, especially against the Cowboys. I think he's been awesome, averaging over 50 the last bunch of weeks. So keep him going there. Move on to my team. One trade this week, nice and simple. We go Sean Johnson to James Tedesco, and I think that's a very, very smart option there. We have now we have cover in the wing fullback, which we did not have. I do have Foggs there, who I'm hoping to play this week, but it still seems like he's going to be pretty doubtful to play coming in from the 21 jersey. If he doesn't play, then I'm going to have to play Verrills there. So you can see the discrepancy between the two sides there. This one's just not anywhere near as good. So we have, yes, we have Madison and Corey Howard-Naira. We're sitting with, Foggs is a little bit different. We have Manu is going really well. I've obviously cleaned up my wing fullbacks, which is great. I've got some really strong edges, basically, with Matto, CHN there, as only my real improvement. And those guys really have to continue to do well for me to stay in this top 1,000. Otherwise, I think I'm going to be falling out of that a little bit. Yes, I have 5 trades left, and that should keep me in the top 1,000, but the team isn't as good as the people squad. We're sitting about 5 to 600k. Less in our team value, and that's showing with the amount of quality players that we can have. So it's interesting to see that in terms of our total score, 17,971 and then 18,018. So really, really close in terms of overall score, only 50 points separating the two. But the team value for the people squad is going to kill us, and the extra one trade over the next bunch of weeks. And you can see that this is why if you get into the top 100, top 200, you've done really well over the season. You've accumulated all the cash cows. Your team's done well, so your team value is going to be higher. One of those scenarios where the rich get richer kind of thing. So that's that with my squad. We're gonna limp through to the finish. Obviously, having enough trades is going to be very much ideal. Holding Foggs, I think, is going to be a good idea in the long run. And yeah, I suppose we'll go from there. We'll see how the teams score this week. My team did outdo people scored last week. So, however, whatever that means there. All right, Roosters and Eels. I think it's a fairly easy tipping week this week. I think the Eels have to bounce back. Yes, they don't have Moses this week, but yes, the Roosters are playing Adam Kieran in the centres, and that's obviously, just out of necessity with Manu, being a better option to play on the wing. So Kieran's going to move into the centres. They lose Smith. Obviously, Morris comes back, but they lose Ikavalu as well. So, their first choice winger after Brent Morris. We've lost him as well. So the rest of the team is still fairly strong, but I think Eels will bounce back. I just think that it'll be too tough a task for the Roosters unless we have a masterclass from Teddy, Manu, Walker and Crichton and Radley. I'd say they're 5 that they really need to step up this week to do really well. So that's that theory. So I think it's going to be fairly close. I'm expecting maybe like a 24 to 18 to the Eels. In terms of any try scorers, I wouldn't want to bank on too many this week. I just think you'd probably want to go more the closer game and the unders. I think is probably going to be my call in this one. I don't want to go for any try scorers this week. I just think it'll be a fairly close one and lower scoring. Okay, Tigers and the Warriors. I think the Tigers win this pretty comfortably, if we're being honest. You look at the Warriors side; they lost a few. RTS has gone home. Maybe they're going to come out and play a really big one for him. But I just saw the haka that they did for Roger, and that was really nice to see there and send him off on his way. Hopefully his head's okay. And he can get home to his family and enjoy some time with them. But Tigers, I think it's time for a Ken Mamalo first try with the Tigers. Nofaluma is going to go in as well, and I'm expecting a Luke Brooks try as well. So there's the three. Can we see Lucy Leilua go over possibly, or a Stefano Oitikamanu also? But yeah, one of those three that I first said, I think is going to be a good one. I expect a fairly high scoring affair in this one, maybe a 40-20 to the Tigers. All right. Moving along to the Broncos Cowboys, I think the Broncos will get us. That was maybe a little bit of a flash in the pan against the Storm. What is usually said when you come up against the Storm, your next week or two you're pretty flat because you've really lifted for that game, and they really did. They played really well. Keeping that in mind, there's a chance that they can do that again this week, and if they do, I think they'll come over the top of the Broncos. But if they play anything like they have been in the last month or so, the Broncos have been playing a lot better, and I think they will win this game. I'm expecting somewhere around the 30-18 for the Broncos in this one, with the small chance of an upset for the Cowboys if they play well, like they did against the Storm last week. And I'm expecting a Katoni Staggs try this week. And who else we got in there? Do you reckon we get a Jordan Reiki try? I think so. Reiki, is that how they say it? That's about all. Happy with that. Yeah, let's move on. Dragons at Rabbitohs, shellacking. Is that the right word that we can use? Corey Norman in the centres. I think they're going to terrorise him a little bit, along with Amone and Sloan. They'll hold their own for a portion of it, and I think the Rabbitohs will really come over the top of them. I don't expect a 60-point barraging, but maybe somewhere in the 40s range. And pick any number of guys here. Gagai Graham. I called Tommy Burgess last week, but I don't think he'll be able to get in. I'm expecting maybe a Damien Cook try and a Mark Nichols try. So look out for that one. Jacob Post could sneak in as well. But yeah, I'd probably go for a little bit more value in those ones because the wingers are going to be like $1.30. All right. Knights and Raiders. This one, I think, is your best bet of the week. Raiders to win. It's in the $1.60s at this stage. I'd be tipping them to win by a sort of 8+. Mitchie Pearce is on the 21 jersey, and if he does play, it'll be a lot closer. But if you're going to be getting on them now, I'd be suggesting to do that at sort of like 6, 8+ to get over $2. If you're going to add a try scorer, I'd be thinking of Jack Whiten in his return game would be able to go over. Let's hope he actually runs the ball a fair bit. But I think that would be ideal if you're going for that. But just them straight out would be good. Watson, hopefully for a big game for him, would be nice for fantasy. But that's that. Move on to Storm Panthers. I can't see the Storm losing this one without Cleary on the Panthers side. They don't have Isaiah Yeo. There's a few guys missing up, Coruscant as well. So with Storm basically being full strength apart from Harry Grant, he's in the 19 jersey though, so he could be back in the next, this week or next week. We're not sure what's going to happen with Pap. Will he move into the 1 jersey? Will he play a similar role to last week? Let's see as to that one. But I think they're going to come out the victors in this one. The Storm. I'd expect them to put 24 to 30 on them. So let's just go with 30 to 12 in this one. I think they're going to win 13+. In terms of try scores, you can take your pick of your favourite one and let's slide along. Let's go Bulldogs Titans. So I think it's going to be a pretty big score to Titans. Yes, Dogs have been playing okay. They move back to Kyle Flanagan in this one. They have Meaney moving to the wing, which is interesting because he had that awesome. I just think it was awesome through the air and catching in. And got his try, but then also the try assist there. I don't know why they moved him, but anyway. Titans there, yeah. So I'm expecting them to put 36 on, and the Dogs to actually score 3 tries in this one. So 36-16 I'm going with. For this one, let's hope Fogs comes back, because it'd be nice if he can score against the Dogs, but you'd expect Fafita to score a try against, who's he going to be? Is he going to be Waddell? Not exactly sure. But another solid game for Toby Sexton. I wouldn't be rushing to bring him in, guys, because he's going to be only playing 1 week at best, with Fogs a chance to play in this one. Sharks and Seagulls. Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to run away with this one. They got their full team back, 40 points to 12 in this game. Really happy with where what's happening with the Sharks over what's going to happen over the next few years with the Finucane, the Hines, lots of stuff. They're going to be much more happier with their position going into obviously next season. But this year they've slowed down a little bit the last few weeks, and I can just see that the Manly boys are just going to come over the top of them pretty comfortably and win this game. If you need a centre, Jesse Raymond's your man. Should score pretty well. DCE, Trebojevic, all doing great. Schuster hopefully there and can score for you as well. But that's that, guys. That's the preview for the week. That's the trades. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you took something out of it. And let's see how my tips go for the week. I think it's a fairly comfortable one. I'm expecting at least 7 out of 8 in this one. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. Catch you the next one. See you, team. Good luck this week.